Hey, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to themikewagnershow@gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with two wonderful gentlemen, one living out in the North Carolina mountains and the other living in Florida as well, too, spending some time in Atlanta and just touring all over. These guys just have a great synergy about them, and they run a company called Synergy Life Science. You can find them at synergylifescience.com. And, of course, it's a health and wellness company focused on development and production of unique, high-quality natural ingredients, and we'll talk about that. And, of course, you know, the subject about, CBD, hemp, and everything that's been going on. And they'll tell you about the benefits of it, the myths, and, what's really good about it, and some alternatives, and just simply how to live better. So live, ladies and gentlemen, living proof that they're living fantastic, and they're very happy to see us from coast to coast, live, ladies and gentlemen, in perfect synergy and giving us life. Zachary Hudson and Chris Daniel. Gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, Mike. Thanks so much.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure as well, too. So you guys have a company called Synergy Life Science, which is on the web as well, too. You're a health and wellness company and focus on development production of unique, high-quality natural ingredients used to positively impact the health of consumers. And you've been doing this for quite some time. And we'll be talking about some of the things you also focus on, hemp, CBD, and some of the other things you guys use. And, just give us some specifics. And before we get into all that, tell us how you guys met and how you guys started the company.
It's a great question. Well, we met through a variety of interesting circumstances. People we wouldn't normally have met, we ended up being introduced to. Most of my career, Mike, has been spent in the regulated spaces industry and consumer products. And so after about 25 years of work and innovation, developing new molecules that affect both the personal care as well as the OTC and pharmaceutical markets. At a very young age, I found myself in a position where my wife became very ill. And so a company that I formed, I found myself quickly moving off full-time status and into just a board position and trying to really identify what was going on with my wife's health. And you fast forward a few years, and my wife is doing wonderful. I'm proud to report much of that has to do with the reason why we're in the industry we're in today. And we can talk specifics on her condition and stuff, but I just know it's been a wonderful blessing for us to meet each other. We have similar passions, and we complement each other so well. My regulatory experience, Zach's experience, and we have a lot of agricultural experience on our team as well.
That's amazing too. And Zachary, tell us about your story and how you got started.
Yeah, I, as far as the hemp and cannabis industry, it's been about 14 years of experience now that I've been dabbling and diving deep. And, it was through actually a friend of my father's that I've, grown up with his kids and known him almost all my life, who's the CFO of our company. He's got, a family farm out in Arkansas, 25,000 acre, cotton farm that's been, almost a century of operation, and is, a leader in various aspects of the industry. And he was interested in growing some hemp there. And so called me up, and, I had started, a few years prior, a company in Tennessee. We were the first hemp company licensed to manufacture products in Tennessee, and we were proud of that, and we're rocking and rolling. And I'd gotten reached out from Richard and said, hey, I'd love for you to take a look at my farm and see about cultivating some hemp. And so went out there, took a look at it, and then ended up getting on some conference calls with Chris and another project that was in the making. And the synergy between Chris and Richard and myself just started evolving and expanding so quickly that it made sense for us to branch off and create our own company and dive deeper with our backgrounds. And my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer about 9 years ago, and she kind of blew us all away by going, you know what, I want to try an alternative route. I don't want to go the mainstream. And we were thrilled about that because, she was almost 90 and it was,
wow.
I was concerned, so was able to utilize some of the connections I have in the industry, because at that point in time where she was, it wasn't legal for her to take anything, hemp or cannabis related. So was able to get her to a space where she could benefit from those products, and amazing results. And, that really helped fuel me understanding, the real benefits and needing to continue to make something to get to her, because, there's so much the Wild West, as it's called, is very accurate. And, I wasn't going to give something to my grandmother that I didn't believe in. And so that kind of fueled me to start my first, hemp company. And then I've just been evolving since then, needing more science backing for these products, which is what, really drew me to Chris when we first met and started chatting. Is I would, have an idea and, be able to share with him. And he'd go, oh, yeah, we can do that. No problem. I know exactly how to do that. I'm like, oh, man, I've been looking for you for so long. So, yeah, it really created this great foundation with, his everything with his wife and stuff with my grandmother, and just really having that human element to it of, doing it for, something more than just making money, really being able to come in and bring some integrity to the industry and bringing some backing with science into this industry, because it's really needed, because there's a lot of people out there doing it the wrong way, and people that want to do it the right way, they just don't necessarily know how or have the resources. So that's one of the things that's great about us, is that, we are creating raw ingredients for companies. Someone who doesn't have the resources can come to us, and we supply them with the ingredients to make their own products, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It does sound fantastic as well, too. And what sets you guys apart from the rest of the company, or from the competitors, I should say?
That's a great question, Mike. We start with the fact that we have been researching different technologies, different approaches, and have really gained a great understanding of what the CBD molecule is. And then when we compare to see what's out there in the market, how it's labeled, how it's claimed, there's a lot of discrepancies between what CBD really is and what most consumers think it is. And for me, being coming from the regulated industries, background, I just feel like we need to bring truth into this market and help explain to consumers, exactly what CBD is, how it will, benefit you, and what we can and can't say, and that's when there's confusion to be expected whenever you take a crop that's been agriculturally grown here in the U.S. for over a century for industrial purposes, and then we introduce it to a regulated language. There's bound to be confusion, misunderstanding. What's FDA? What's GMP? What is a weigh room? And all these different things, and how we process and manufacture products to make sure they're of the ultimate purity, and the formulations are dialed in on exactly what the consumer needs. So that's our focus.
And another thing that sets us apart that I think is really important, and one of the things that I kind of got into a wall with my prior company was, it seems as if most people approach the CBD industry as a one-size-fits-all. You've got a CBD diluted in an oil that's hydrophobic, that's supposed to get into an endocannabinoid system within your body that's water-based. So you got an oil getting into water without the proper, form to actually get that to where it needs to go. So one of the things that I am excited about and sets us apart is that we are on the cutting edge and always pushing the advancements and innovation in different delivery systems and different ways to get the cannabinoids or whatever it may be, because we're not just a CBD company, get those to the place they need to go before they're going to be metabolized in a certain area that's maybe not designed to properly metabolize them, or get there fully intact, so you get 100% of what you're actually taking. So, that was one of the things that when we started this company, Chris and I started brainstorming, I was, bringing up, like, for instance, if you have a dog and that dog needs to hold something under their tongue, how's that going to happen? You just got a really well-trained dog, you're going to
hold a tongue, dog.
Right, exactly. Squirt it on there. Yeah.
Poochie, come on.
Right. So, really taking an approach of going, okay, how can we really tailor everything to these different individuals, whether they be human or animal, to really get the benefit and all the benefit that possibly could be gotten out of the product, versus a percentage, and then the rest of it's going to have to be, processed through a certain part of the body that, might tax the body. So that's one thing that sets us apart too, is that we really are focused on multiple different delivery systems so that everybody can really benefit.
That is amazing too. We'll talk about the differences, like with cannabinoids, CBD, and also hemp and everything else. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Zachary Hudson and Chris Daniel from Synergy Life Services, and they're speaking to us from separate locations, but they have such great synergy, coming together today here on The Mike Wagner Show, and, just breaking down some of the things here about, we talked about cannabinoids and also CBD and also hemp. So maybe you can just explain to the audience in particular, what is CBD?
Sure. So CBD is one of the various cannabinoids that are possible to be extracted in a multitude of ways from the cannabis plant. And so cannabis is the family that the plant is in. It either is going to be considered medical marijuana or it's going to be considered hemp. And what really identifies those two as being what they are is going to be the level of THC, which THC is the psychoactive cannabinoid that can be extracted from the plant. So if the THC level is above 0.3%, which is the federal limit right now, then it's considered marijuana. If it's under 0.3%, it's considered hemp. So, for instance, a medical marijuana plant may have 60 to 80% THC. versus a hemp plant that's, under 0.3%. So it's not something that, you're going to be getting high from, as they say. It's more the medicinal side of things or the industrial side of things. So the plant itself, not only having the two classifications of marijuana and hemp, it also has a male and female expression, whereas the female is going to produce what you would call a flower or the bud, which contains the majority of the cannabinoids, whereas a male plant is going to be taller, thinner, not as many branches, and that's going to be really the industrial side of things, where you can get your building materials, your plastics, your textiles, ropes, things of that nature, which is really, the majority of the reason the hemp plant has been utilized in this country. It really comes down to THC as the main factor right now of what determines what. But cannabinoids, there's about 113 cannabinoids right now that are recognized, one of which is CBD, one of which is THC. There's 113 of them. So that's one of the things, here at Synergy Life Science that we are exploring, as well as combining different cannabinoids into different ratios and different products to see how those synergies can benefit. I think that we're really at the tip of the iceberg right now of what this plant has to offer. And what different cannabinoid combinations can offer as well. And everybody's different, so CBN might be good for you, Mike, whereas CBG, might be great for Chris or myself. So, everyone has a different way that they're going to process these cannabinoids, and it's very exciting to see what we can do in the future.
Really? Explain, what is CBN and CBG? I never heard of it.
Yeah, they're less known, less researched cannabinoids, but each one has its own various components that benefit different things, and some of them are precursors to another cannabinoid that once they're heated to a particular temperature, then it'll convert like a CBD. CBD and THC both have a what's called an A, the CBD or THCA, that once heated converts to CBD. So there's a lot of different things going on there. But, really, as far as the benefits of the other cannabinoids, it's still barely scratching the surface of what's really out there, because, one of the things in the industry right now is that everyone's so focused on CBD that it's so much of a smash and grab right now. It's like, make a product, how fast can you get it out there and make the money? Not necessarily going, well, you know what, there's this other cannabinoid that may not really have a whole lot of benefit, but let's spend $1 million and find out. People aren't really wanting to do that right now, but it also could be, the next best thing that's better than CBD, or the combination of those two is amazing. So you've got to have the desire to really be making something that's going to be benefiting people versus, just chasing the dollar.
Now, talking about CBD, CBN, and CBG, what are the other, combinations out there, like maybe CBA or CBC or CBF, or what are some of the other, combinations out there? Yeah,
good question. There's so many out there that they haven't all necessarily been even named. It's still being discovered and explored. But CBG, CBA, CBN, CBD, THC, CBG, those are the main ones that people are focused on right now and actually isolating so that they can be infused into various products. So, but as far as any data on what those do, it's pretty small right now. So everyone's mainly, staying focused on CBD and what that can do. But that's one of the things that, where we're coming in is, being a unique isolations company as well. We're very excited about what these have to offer, because before, someone really researched CBD, we didn't know what it did. I saw an actual prescription from the early 1800s that stated, it was the doctor saying, have your child chew on the stalk of the hemp plant, and will help with his seizures.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that was so crude at that point in time that, he didn't tell why. Oh, because there's, high amounts of CBD in there, which now we know are, assist with seizures. He didn't know. He just knew that you chew on it and it helped. So that's kind of where we are with these other cannabinoids is, we don't really know, but we will know. And there's also things called terpenes, which terpenes are kind of the flavor profile of the plant, which kind of gives its name, and then is kind of its floral properties. But those terpenes have great benefits as well. So incorporating those into products as well is something that we're exploring, and it shows a lot of promise.
And of course, the issue as well, too, is CBD, and some people, taking it work. And there's been cases where people have taken CBD and then drug tests, they end up getting fired or something. Is there like a CBD out there that'll still allow you to take it, but yet be safe in the workplace?
Absolutely. Good question, because that's something that's dear to my heart. And, it's a shame that there's not more education around this, because even when I listen to news stories, sometimes it blows my mind of how little the individuals know about what they're even talking about in these stories. But CBD, a lot of times when you have a product that's considered a CBD product, what's not really explained there is that although the main active ingredient or the main active cannabinoid is CBD, that could be what's either considered a full spectrum, which is going to be all 113 cannabinoids, or it's going to be a broad spectrum, which is all the cannabinoids minus the THC, or very, very small trace amounts of CBD, or of THC, I'm sorry, or it's going to be a CBD only, which has no other cannabinoids, just the CBD. So if you're taking a full spectrum that's got all of those cannabinoids, even though you've got less than 0.3% of THC, if you take that several times a day over a period of a couple of weeks, it can start accumulating in the body. And if you're taking a pass-fail drug test, you can fail that. And it has happened to many, many people, and it's gotten to a point where people are trying to advocating to raise the THC limit so that it's high enough that it becomes more aware in the labeling and things, so people know what they're going to be taking, versus like the product that we have here at Synergy Life Science, which is a CBD only. There's no other cannabinoids in it, so there's no trace amounts of THC or anything. It's just CBD, and that product you could take all day and it wouldn't cause you any challenges when it came to drug testing. So yeah, I think it's really necessary, and it's important for people to understand, to really pay attention to the labeling of what they're taking, because although it says CBD, there may still be some amount of THC in there that can cause you problems over long extended periods of taking that. So yeah, good question.
That is amazing too. You talked about the percentage of THC, like say 0.3 considered what was I considered marijuana, and then like less than that would be considered hemp or so. How is it scientifically measured if it's like 0.3 or 0.2 according to federal law? How's that scientifically measured?
I think that's a really great question. And it's probably one of the biggest challenges the industry faces too. This 0.3% maximum level of THC, Mike, actually begins with the crop before it's harvested. So the states are required to send out testing people that would test the plants and then submit them to third-party labs or have testing equipment to test for THC levels. It normally takes 2 to 4 weeks to get these test results back. If the plants growing in the ground meet or are compliant with that 0.3% maximum amount of allowable THC, then they can continue to harvest and process and, carry the product forward. If not, then depending on the state you're in, you have to dispose of the crop, or it has to be burned or destroyed.
Wow, that is something. And what states are considered the most lenient when it comes to that, and what states are the most strict?
An interesting question.
That's a good question. They're all pretty strict. I haven't really, from my experience, I haven't found any state that's lenient on that, because they're, heads on the chopping block when it comes to, to upholding those regulations. And so almost too much. There's been some times when counties in different states have gotten a little overzealous and thought they had something that they didn't, and made big crackdowns on stores and whatnot, only to find out that they really were legal products that just, had been tipped off by someone who didn't know what they were talking about or something like that. So, all the states are doing a good job from my perspective of upholding the federal laws, and not only because they're federally it's legal, but each state has their own rules and regulations of what's allowed and what's not allowed. So it's been interesting to see how each state kind of puts their own twist on how to benefit people and how to benefit farmers. Because, at the end of the day, this is a plant. It's a plant that is offering a lot to humanity. And we really need to take care of our farmers. And so I'm pleased to see how the states are making this possible for farmers to be involved in a crop that really benefits and has a financial gain to assist these working individuals that do so much for us that I think a lot of times we take for granted. You go to the store and pick something up and you don't think about what all it took to get that there. So, whatever we can do to benefit the farmers is incredibly necessary. So, yeah, states are doing a good job, and no state is, from my experience, is more strict or less strict. They're all, talking together, and there's national organizations where all the states link together and can discuss and come up with new rules and regulations as well. So, yeah, it's kind of evolving all the time as I saw a thing earlier today that was saying 89% of Americans are wanting to legalize cannabis, medical marijuana nationwide. So I think the rules are changing by the demand of the people as well.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, you have a great product line as well, too. We'll talk about that. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Synergy Life Science, Zachary Hudson and Chris Daniel, talking to us right here from different portions of the states here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just give us a lot of great information about the company and, explain what hemp is, cannabinoids, CBD, and also the legal aspects and just all kinds of CBD. We're getting a lot of information about it. And, of course, there's more to come. And you've got some great products out there. And tell us about your wonderful products on Synergy Life Science.
Excellent. Well, let me start, Mike, by just tagging on that there's some misnomers in the market that are important for us to bring truth to consumers in. Most people think of CBD as an oil in its form. Most people, 52 or so % of the market will take it by tincture, which is, the oil substance that we put under our tongue and try to hold it there to get the best result. However, I will tell you, CBD is not an oil. And this is really a game changer in a precedent-setting situation. CBD is an active component that exists in the hemp plant. And when it's extracted or goes through an extraction process, CBD, like all the different cannabinoids in the plant, are concentrated. And when they're concentrated, as soon as they come out of the processing, the extraction equipment, it is more like a syrupy pine rosin type of pine sap type of look to it. And it has to be stabilized immediately in order for it to be prevent any bacteria or any unwanted impurities to enter into the product. So CBD oil is really the means of taking CBD and optimizing how it tastes, how it delivers through your mucous membranes in a carrier oil. And why I bring that up is because it's really unprecedented in any market. If you think about any topical ingredient, let's say salicylic acid, which is used for treating acne. Well, if we put salicylic acid in an oil, it doesn't automatically adopt the oil to its last name. It doesn't become salicylic acid oil. It just becomes solubilized in oil. The same thing applies here, where we have a Schedule 5 drug ingredient on the federal level, and it's important to note that because regardless of what each state currently suggests and what their laws are trying to promote, which is all directionally correct, as it stands today, CBD is still a Schedule 5 drug, and it needs to be managed as the true pharmaceutical that it is. So all of our processing and all of our manufacturing work is done under what they call GMP, or Current Good Manufacturing Practices, which allow us to ensure the purity, the quality, and the consistency of the product time and time and time again. So from there, we take the oil, understanding that it's not an oil, what we're doing that makes us unique. And this has been a pretty big couple weeks for us because we just got our first round of patents issued. And so literally, we are now capable of rebuilding a true CBD oil from the composition of the hemp plant. Those different cannabinoids that we talked about earlier that are being discovered and starting to be explored contribute to, the benefits of of CBD and the overall hemp plant. When we take portions of that plant and we use a process, we're able to put different components back together that create oil-like substances that are naturally occurring and much more effective than a CBD that's been diluted in a carrier oil, like a coconut oil or a fractionated coconut oil, MCT, it's often called. So, and I want to just add too that we take this very seriously. I mentioned our first grouping of patents. We have patented technology that's applied to our grows that helps farmers and us benefit by getting the most CBD per acre. So we're not only offering farmers a cash crop, but we're offering them the capability of optimizing the profitability per acre of CBD that they'll have out of that crop. And then we take that crop and we convert them into raw materials. And those raw materials Zach mentioned earlier, those are part of our patented products, and they create very unique pathways for us to have our next generation CBD consumer products out there, whether they're water soluble beverages or whatever. But we wouldn't be able to get to these next generation forms if not through our own oil, our own unique oil that is much more effective, and then all the derivatives that we're making and patenting from it.
That is interesting. Of course, I was going to get to the part about the water as well, too. And, of course, it's not just ordinary water, just like a really specific type, like the purification process. And, it's got to be like, something in the water, as they say.
Yeah, as they say. There's always something in the water,
Lots of things in the water.
That's right.
The water technology. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, the water is something exciting for me, and Chris and I both, are real big on hydration. I've, made a commitment in my life to only drink spring water. It's been almost 15 years that tap water hasn't passed my lips in 15 years. I'm dedicated to spring water and, getting the benefits of the trace minerals that are there, and water that's more structured in a way that is easier, it's kind of softer, easier water for our bodies. And so that and Chris, shares the passion of hydration from his background with skin health. Hydration is so important. Most people are dehydrated and don't know it. So we have been, real blessed to utilize this patented water technology that brings a whole new level of efficacy to our products, and a new level of energy in each drop of water that makes it easier to get whatever's within that water to where it's supposed to be, while also, phenomenally hydrating the body. So yeah, we've got a couple of products that we're in the process of going through stability testing and preparing that will be coming out in a line called Skin Health Hemp that we're excited about. You'll see some press releases about that before too long, and we'd love to get you some of that to explore, Mike, and your listeners as well. And yeah, so we've got that coming, which is really exciting, and we've got some various topicals that are not infused with CBD but utilize this water, and some other phenomenal ingredients that we're excited about that are coming real soon as well, within the next week or so. But there's so much that can be done with this water, just constantly in their R&D phase. Chris is chomping at the bit to talk. I'm going to stop.
Oh, no. I get excited too, Zach. That's the thing. I mean, it's a shared passion. It's a shared synergy. The truth is that now there's more that can be done with water than we can even imagine right now. And as much as we'd love to share, the breadth of what that looks like today, Mike, some of the patents that we have filed are provisional, and, we can only discuss under confidentiality agreements and things like this. But, in a general principle, energy can be transferred through a multiple of mediums. It's not just water. This process can go beyond water into other minerals and specific things that will be charge or energy receptors and transmitters as well, that give a positive low energy. I shouldn't say low energy. They give you a positive energy and influence your body in many significant ways. I've heard it stated a few different times, but theoretically, we're delivering about 5 times the amount of oxygen to your brain in the water when we supercharge it, so to speak. And it's not a caffeine type of a thing. It helps with mental awareness and being awake and trying to look at things from different angles. I tell you, it's been a game changer for me personally, and I am so excited about being able to share it with the world. I'm jumping at the bit. So sorry I jumped on you a little bit. There's that. No,
you're good. It's, Chris and I both have, loved ones that have had challenges, and the way that this water has benefited them when it comes to pH and energy levels, it's just been incredibly encouraging and exciting, because, there's nothing like seeing someone you care about suffer, and be challenged. So it's really exciting to do something that is helping our loved ones already, and then being able to bring that to the masses is really exciting, and something that feels good when I lay my head on my pillow at night and go, man, this is the tip of the iceberg of so much greatness right now, and feel really blessed to be a part of it, and excited to have the minds and the backing to continue to research it. And with our FDA approved testing facility, we can test things right away and see what they're really capable of. So it's a great combination that we've got going on here.
It sounds like you got a great combination. Besides the skincare products you have in the future, what else do you have in the future in terms of the company?
It's a great question, Mike. Zach, you want
to? Sure. That's a great. Yeah, it is a great question. There's, there's things that I wish that I could say that I can't. But for me and for us, there's so much to come. That there's a lot of things coming out. There's a lot of people focused on things that several years ago may have sounded like science fiction. May have sounded like mumbo jumbo, but are now getting backing, and people are really studying these things. So there's a lot to be done in the world of energy and frequency, and so there's some exciting things that we're exploring, and I can honestly say that we are not even clear on what all can be done with what we've got at our fingertips. And that's the exciting portion of R&D for us, is that, we know what we know, And we're always learning new things once we're in the lab playing with stuff and go, oh my gosh, here we go, this works. Or, have a dream or be in a time of, daydreaming and think of something and then be able to play with it in the lab and go, wow, yeah, this works. So, what the vision looks like down the road product wise for us is really wide open. And I feel more like it'll be guided by what's needed. What do the humans, on this planet need? What are the challenges? Because for us, it's not about, trying to make something that's a really hot buzzword right now, and we're going to capitalize on, making the money off of that niche for a certain period of time. It's, what's needed. What are people being challenged by? And anxiety is one right now, and, depression and inflammation and all these different ones, which, are things that we're in the process of being able to actually say that, CBD can do and start exploring, because, the way the FDA is we've got to have hard proof that something can actually happen before we can state it. So what that looks like product wise, I'm really excited about, and I don't know, where we will see. But I know that there's going to be some really unique waters that we're going to come out with this technology. There's a lot of things that this water, due to the form that it's in, is very good at it holding different ingredients and delivering those ingredients. So there will definitely be a large breadth of various water products that are going to have a multitude of benefits, one of them being, extreme hydration. So that's exciting on the product side. And, on a grander side, outside of products, we are all very focused and very passionate about humanitarian and environmental give back as well. So it's something that we continue to bring from our prior companies, bring that experience into where we are now, because we're really as strong as we are as a family, and our global family is, more than ever, I feel like really needs to pull together and support one another. So outside of products, we're looking to use our platform and use our notoriety to be able to bring awareness to things and support those in need as much as possible.
That is fantastic. Looking forward to having you guys on again soon, and keep us up to date. I love what you got. I have to say that.
Thank you.
And just a couple more things, guys. Zachary Hudson and Chris Daniel of Synergy Life Services. Just a couple of things. What do you consider your biggest influences in your careers?
Go for it, Chris.
That's an interesting question. Mike, we live in a world where people are hurting, where natural disasters are literally devastating small countries and islands. And, you talk about what does the future look like? We very much want to be involved as part of the solution in bringing clean water to countries that don't have that luxury today. Been on different mission trips we both have in our lives, and that is a huge need around the world to bring clean water to multiple different third world countries. In a previous capacity, I was on a board of a nonprofit that was called Impact, Mission to Provide a Cleaner Tomorrow. And we were sitting here in the middle of the hygiene industry and seeing that in many countries that the number one contribution to death in children is cleanliness, the ability to stay to stay clean and have clean drinking water. So we have shipped millions of bars of soap to over 38 different countries.
Wow.
In that project. And that project lasted about 6 or 7 years. And so in a similar way, we're excited about trying to be part of the solution that brings clean water to these countries and establishes a better quality of life for people everywhere.
That's amazing. And Zachary, who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
That's a fantastic question. I think it's hard for me to separate career and personal life because I'm so passionate about what I do, And, I've been constantly focused on, marching to the beat of my own drum. I haven't done anything because I felt forced to do it or felt like I needed to do it. I did it because I was called to do it. And so, it's really hard to put a finger on one person. I guess I would say probably my biggest influence would be my heart. And what my heart tells me. I'm very committed to listening to what my heart has to say and being guided, because there's so many different paths out there that we can take, and there's so much chatter that can get in the way of hearing what we're really here to do. And I'm very focused on a purpose that is clear to me, as long as I stay clear and to stay committed to following what I hear. So, yeah, I have to say that little voice within my heart that, is telling me, the various things that are needed on this planet. And, for me, I'm a vehicle of service. I'm here to serve in whatever way that looks like today. And in this moment right now, it's to be talking to you. And I'm excited to be here and doing that. So, it's hard to put a person on it. I think the only person I can say is me, by just staying surrendered to, what I'm called to do.
That is fantastic. And lastly, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
That's a great question.
Besides being a good question.
The best advice we can give to people right now is understand we started in CBD because there is a lot of reason to be confused. There's a lot of product out there that shouldn't be, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist. All you have to do is Google or go to FDA.gov, and you can have or you can have like the equivalent of the FDA's version of Google alerts pop up on anything area of interest that you want to know what's going on. And I encourage people to follow what's going on in the CBD world. 2,677 warning letters or plant closures in the past several months. It tells you that there are people out there that are not doing it right. And, when the dust clears, we'll still be standing, because that's one thing this company will not do. We will never put a customer's safety in harm's way, and everything we will do will be to the highest standards.
That is fantastic. And Zachary, best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I would say the best advice is don't lose hope. And believe in yourself. You have something to offer, no matter what may seem like is telling you that that's not the case. Look in the mirror and know that you have something to offer. And not only do you have something to offer, you need to bring it to the world, or else we're not going to be as great as we can be.
That is fantastic advice. And Zachary and Chris, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you very much for your time. You've been wonderful. Again, Zachary Hudson and Chris Daniel from Synergy Life Science. And once again, tell us how they can contact you, where they can check out your products, and what's your website? Yeah,
synergylifescience.com is the best way to get in touch with us. You can fill out our email form there. Put in the subject line, your show, Mike, and we'd love to get some coupon codes to anybody who's interested in testing out the product. And soon to come, you'll see our Facebook and our Instagram, all the social medias. We're focused on doing it right. So we're getting all those platforms ready for launch. Our website's the best way right now, synergylifescience.com. Mike, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
And thank you, guys. And thank you, guys. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. And do us a favor, keep this up to date. We love to have you back on. You both have been fantastic.
Well, thank you, awesome. Mike. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.